friends, I am a man who lives on this planet we call Earth, and who, as part and parcel of his living, functions as host of Talking with Fat People. Namely, I am host Eric. And I am here today to tell you, foremost, it's a nice day for a wheat wedding. If you have any dry wheat lying around and some spare water you can afford to experiment a little bit with, consider wetting your wheat. We may be accustomed, some of us, to wetting our flour. We mix in a little water with theirs. We make our dough, for example. But have we wet our wheat? And if we were to wet our wheat, would we need a whetstone? The answer to that one's pretty straightforward. No, we wouldn't. Different kind of wet. You make me wet when you squirt me with that hose. You're charming the pants off me. Raw? Yes. Oh, good. All right, so I'm gonna pull a bowl now of this weed we got in San Luis Obispo. When we take a vacation, we sometimes like to get a jar of weed and some edibles and stuff, which we did on this particular occasion. And I got what's called Classic Jack, reportedly a cross between Northern Lights. What does it say? I can read it and see what it says. Maybe just said it on the box. Maybe it didn't say it on the jar. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Yeah, it doesn't say it on the jar. Anywho, this is made out of cannabis? Never heard of it. Rachel is sleeping like a little adorable baby right now. She is plumb tuckered out from our trip to San Luis Obispo. I would be watching football, but all the games I want to watch right now are blowouts. So there's no reason to watch them, especially at 4 o'clock, I believe, maybe 4:30. The Oregon State Washington State game comes on. That should be an interesting affair as we continue to experience like the Pac-12 at its all-time pinnacle, despite the fact that it's last year. Now, it's worth noting that it's still early in the year, but what we see is Utah. First what we see is Oregon just completely exposing Colorado, just demolishing them. They have like 49-0 when I last checked. Then we can look at Utah handling its business, and the Utah defense just putting the thump on UCLA's offense, such that UCLA hasn't been able to do anything through the first 3 quarters. Utah's not exactly lighting it up because their quarterback, Cam Rising, is still injured, but UCLA can't do anything on offense. So it's pretty hard to win the game when you can't do anything on offense. And they've looked good heretofore, but Utah's defense is just that good. Anywho, I mean, they're just that good against UCLA. I don't think Utah's going to do to USC what they did to USC last year twice, namely beat us, because our offense is a year better, older, wiser, stronger, and our defense is substantially improved. I don't think Utah can beat us this year. I'm talking about USC, of course. When I say us, even though I didn't go to USC, but I lived my childhood as a USC fan. Went to many football games at the Coliseum. That's nice. The real Rudy Tooty fresh and fruity. It's got a nice, crisp kind of, not like a vinyl tube sativa, but not like a flowery sativa either. My lungs are pretty cacked right now because I got this bottle of Vyvanse on Thursday night. More or less. I haven't slept since, you know. We got a little bit of sleep last night, but not much. Well, I am delighted to see that I've made it all the way to 0 people watching. So, you know, that's the sort of thing that makes you go, hey, I'm making a real difference here. I'm changing the world one viewer at a time. Of course, when you have 0 viewers, you can't even make that claim. I currently have 0 viewers. I do have, however, a wonderful song if I can remember how to play it. See how it goes. Buttonholders, be safe and wear your heart at. Your bright green vest and also modesty pants. Your sign says slow, but you're waving me fast. I can't remember it quite. The lyrics are sign holders, be safe, wear your hard hat, your bright green vest, and your modesty pants. Your sign may say slow, but you're waving me fast as my wife and I confusedly pass. There's even a bridge or some sort of good that says, you always got just these options too. Slow and stop is all for you. I think perhaps we need an option 3 so you can show fast to me. Now, where's my cigarettes? Or maybe I'm going to the garage. Maybe I'm not even looking for my cigarettes. Okay, I'm back. I'm back and better than ever. I've got this, this, and this. These three things. What are we going to use these three things for? Well, I can tell you right now we're going to use these for. Use these things here for smoking. But the hammer, well, I could hammer the wall once or twice just to remember what it feels like to hammer the wall, I guess. I still do need to finish hammering the wall, definitely before the Christmas party. So, I think I'll hammer one hammer with the wall, then we'll go into the garage, okay? Now you guys stay a little bit back over here, closer to the Wi-Fi. And then I'm going to just give the old wall a little hammer-a-roo. This is the national animal of Australia, the hammer-a-roo. As you see, this concrete's not so tough. It's had a chance to cure a bit too, you know. But loosened up a bit. Loosened up a little easier now. I want to make me want to hammer the wall all day. It's not enough to make me want to hammer the wall all day. Especially when something loud's over there. I don't like loud things. So, you know, I'm going to retreat to someplace a little quieter. For example, a library, the vacuum of space, any of those things. Okay, now we're in the garage. It's a little cooler in here, and it's also a little spookier. So if anybody gets scared, you can hold my hand. Now let's see what the chat putter said. You sounds like a hardstyle song. What's a hardstyle song? They're like beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. Is it that hardstyle? Or is that trap? I always get them confused. Is hardstyle a band or a style? If it is a style, is it hard like it's difficult? Hard like able to cut other things that are less hard? Hard like the shell of a tortoise? Well, we can ask these questions, but we will never know the answer, no matter what. BPM of like 200 plus? Oh, super fast, huh? Like beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop beep boop. Man, much above 200, you start getting into like, well, 240 anyway. You're always gonna just be double time or something like that, you know. I guess you'd say 239 is really the fastest beat you can have without pretending your 120 is 240. Instead of just 120 at double time, basically turning a 4 measure into 2, you know? So you go, I'm playing this at 960. You're not playing at 960. That's silly. 480, 960. You just be playing at 120, really. You just be calling it 960. $960 beats per minute. Yeah. It's pretty fast. Do you play all 960 of those beats? Uh-uh. Well, you don't even play 120 of them. Maybe 60. Oh, okay. Are you sure it's just not in 120? No, there's 960 beats per minute. Okay, but you just said you didn't play all 960 of them. But you can divide that minute. Okay, well, maybe you were playing in 1920. That's possible. I mean, 1820. No, I'm sorry, 1920. But you're not playing 1920 beats per minute. And the people just sound like a note. Well, you know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but I was one of the pioneers of the trap revolution when I accidentally pushed the hi-hat sample way too many times. Oh, look how complicated those hi-hats are. Wow. I'm impressed. I could listen to this horrible, rhythmically disjointed mess of hi-hats all day long. Well, I think it's a great song. I think it's a great production. I'm just wondering if maybe we should add some trap hi-hats. Just like... Does that sound like basically a bunch of praying mantises clicking their jaws at the same time? Yeah, trap music. What exactly does it trap? Ooh, it traps your ability to enjoy it with its poor decision making. Where is Johnny? Now, Johnny is in Vegas. That's where Johnny is. Somebody said this and they were wrong, but sort of correct. Somebody said, "Oh, he's going from Santa Cruz to Vegas to San Luis Obispo." No, he actually played Thursday night in Santa Cruz. He played Friday afternoon in Santa Cruz, and then he played Friday night in San Luis Obispo, which is the show we saw. And then he's playing tonight in Vegas. That's pretty crazy. It's a very move, play kind of schedule, you know? But we did get some signed merch, you know? Maybe I should put on my signed Johnny hat now. The fact that it's signed is irrelevant. All the hats they had were signed by him. I also got a t-shirt and a keychain. So I think that's sufficient Johnny merch probably for me. They were unfortunately out of Johnny cock rings. I hoped to Johnny theme my member, but no such luck. Well, those are always the first things to sell out, the lady at the table told me. They sell out so fast. So why did I come into the garage? Oh, because it was loud outside, that's right. You can use this to cut things. You could use this to cock things. What could you use this for? This is for scooping up trash. What about this then? This is for pulling out and pointing at things. Or going like, oh, listen here. Okay, Eric. But what's this thing for? This is actually a tool to get leaves out of your rain gutters. Well, so far so lucky for you, but what's that for? Lighting fires. Alright, I guess you'll pass. So I guess I'll go back inside the house now into the living room area. And I will bring a big pile of daring dew with me. I'll need it. I mean, this live stream isn't just kind of live stream itself. It's going to require some real daring do on my part. So we didn't really love the Courier and Ives room at the Madonna Inn. I think it's fair to say we much preferred the room we had before, which is called Rock Bottom, which was full of big rocks. The Courier and Ives room just looked like a tragic old lady's house. Just like my face. My face also looks like a tragic old lady's house. Things to stick up intruders' asses. You know what? I may be entitled to self-defense if somebody invades my home, but I'm not going to exercise that right on anybody's ass because I might get poop on me. That's just all there is to it. I don't want anybody's poop on me. I don't even want my own poop on me. So I definitely don't want anybody else's poop on me. And the only time I even really ever approach like willfully nearing poop is when I wash Rachel's butthole, which for some reason I enjoy doing. But you know, she's got a dainty little butthole, and girls don't poop, so should be fine. Don't wash her butthole. That's gross. It seems like it in the silver light of day, but in the shower it doesn't seem like it. I don't know. You'd think so, but no. Just because Rachel's so pristine in part, I suppose. Pristine, like the wilderness of Labrador. Nielsen ratings. Does everybody poops negate the existence of women? Yes. Well, chicks anyway. Women, like old women, they may start pooping at some point. But chicks, women of breeding age, they don't poop. They hold it from childhood all the way through menopause. Because they're embarrassed. Understandably, because it's not very ladylike to poop. All right. So, right now, I'm going to pull a little bit of a tarot card. One for me, one for Rachel, one for Josh Nielsen. This one's for me. What am I doing? I'm considering, I'm offering, pondering ideas, biding my time. I am biding my time. Because Rachel's asleep. When she gets up, well, I think she needs a good stout humping. So let's see what. If the tarot's accurate, it's going to say she's asleep right now. She's a miser, huh? She's denying me access to her womanly plunder, and by sleeping. And lastly, I will pull a card for the two of us later once we're reunited in wakefulness. Let's see. It's accurate, should say the lovers. Paying bells? I don't want to pay bells. Okay. Now, Josh Nielsen, you need a tarot card read for you right now, or else you'll probably just collapse into a quivering pool of anxiety. So, anticipation mindedly be about this tarot pull. So your first card is this one. It's called the Knight of Swords. Restless, clever. That's your directionality. Okay, you're moving in that direction. Your second card is your self-concept. Marriage, West, wow. And your last card is the outcome. Let's find out. Ooh, conversation. You're just chatting. You're just dancing. I like it here. I like the lighting. So good job, Josh Nielsen. That's worth 2 apple puddings and a flapjack surprise. What mood are you in now? Some good looking weed soup I got there? Or you mean this plate of meth? This weed is what I'm smoking right now, because this is actually store-bought weed that we haven't had store-bought weed in a long time. But I also have some gummies here. I think I might eat a bag of gummies as well. I would like to get some good sleep in at some point, rather than just Eric's current situation. Okay, show media. This is your directionality you're moving in. It's not much of a direction. Dreams, emotions, haze, ruse, escapism. It's sort of the absence of moving in a direction, really. Now, your self-concept, show media, what is it? Makes you you. Makes you tick. What? Your self-concept is heartache, heartbreak, pain, Grief, breakup. Whoa. We need to fix that self-concept, Shamiya. I don't view you as that. This is the outcome, though. Good news. Vivacious, extrovert, fiery, queen of rods. So I guess you go from dreamy to heartbroken to effective. Good for you. I'm proud of you. Fred the Enchanted. It harms me being eternally based and red pilled. Never cringe, always sinking the pseudo intellectual with your huge brain. I bet. You know what you are? You're restless and clever. And let's find out what else. It's your self concept. Oh, I shouldn't have taken that. It was the bottom of the deck. It was a Mare Witch card, which I just pulled. So I didn't shuffle it. I'll get another card. So, self concept. Let's see. Oh, you're healing and you're dormant. Probably from all those highly effective intellectual battles you've waged to the detriment of your myriad foes. And lastly, the outcome. Established, financier, patient, king of pentacles, tycoon. Wow, Mr. Moneybags, look at you. There you go. Fred the Enchanted. Who enchanted you anyway? You know, my daughter, when she was a child, we painted her room. What color was the paint? Well, the name of the paint color was One Enchanted Evening. Isn't that wonderful? So perhaps Fred the Enchanted was enchanted by that Disney paint color. Disney brand paint. I'm gonna tell you, when I walked in that room, I was like, holy fuck, this is One Enchanted Evening. Probably Fred was nearby getting enchanted at the same time. Those pseudo intellectuals. What makes them pseudo? Is it because they're just whistling Dixie? Or would you say that they're more like whistling in the dark? Or are they dog whistling? Perhaps they're catcalling, which is in fact a form of whistling. But they could just be wistful. That's not a form of whistling. It's a form of whist. Namely, a fullness of whist. When your whists get full, then you start feeling really wistful. Some nose pickers in here, huh? Everyone in the chat, hit the thumbs up or pick your nose instead. I forgot that. I thought, the fuck my dog. There, I thumbs up it. Thank you for reminding me, Show Media. I'd hate to tell YouTube that I dislike my own videos, and even though I'm not gonna push the thumbs down, they might infer from my failure to push the thumbs up that I actually do dislike it. I hate when non-people recklessly assume things. So our big trip came and went. It was a great show. Rachel and I both more or less agree that it was probably the best show we've ever seen. Which really isn't saying as much as it should be saying, okay? Because I've seen lots and lots of shows on my day. Or I used to, you know. I used to see lots of plenty of shows, not tons of them, but I haven't in a long time because I don't like them. It's usually you're going to get not a perfect mix slash levels on the audio. Usually, whatever band you're seeing, you only like some of their songs. And you don't know until you get there whether this is one of those horrible bands is like, oh, we're just going to play songs of our new album, or if they actually care about the audience. Lots of reasons to dislike shows. They involve unnecessary amount of standing up, often in crowded spaces with people you don't know. Sometimes shows can be a little sketch, you know, depending on the kind of show it is. Not the show last night though. There's none of that stuff going on. It was ideal. We could have sat down anytime we wanted to. There were plenty of seats. We chose to stand up the whole time because we liked being close to the stage. And he didn't play a single song of his that I wasn't very familiar with and liked a lot. Now, he did play a couple of covers, one of which I don't think I've ever heard before, Killer's song, but Rachel knew all the words to it, and so does it seem like everybody else. I never even heard it before. And then he played a Taylor Swift cover as well. Started to play a bit of a Beck cover. You know what else was a good show I saw? Surprisingly good, but not as good as Johnny. I saw Prince at the Fabulous Forum, formerly known as the Great Western Forum, in Inglewood, California, the home of the Lakers before Staples Center opened. And it persisted there in Inglewood as a venue without hardly any use for multiple years until one day Prince said, I'm going to play like 60 shows at the Forum. And I'm only charging $25 a ticket for all, no matter what ticket it is. Okay, Prince. I'll bite. We'll go see this show. And he was very good. He was quite good. But he wasn't as, it was like one of those shows where, you know, you don't know all of Prince's songs. You don't like all of Prince's songs. He's not necessarily playing his hits, but he's playing some of his hits. And then he even did this fucked up thing. He started to play Darling Nikki. Like, man, and everyone in the crowd just screamed like, fuck yeah. And then he's like, just kidding. Sorry, I don't play that song anymore because I'm a Jehovah's Witness. Well, then don't tease us, you fuck. It's like, have you vetted all of your other songs for moral adequacy? Because Darling Nikki is like your best song. Anyway, fortunately, he died not that long after that, and then everybody could listen to his music on the internet. That's what I'm sure will happen someday in the distant future when Michelle Schachter dies. And it's like after Prince died, I just thought, well, you put all that fuss and fight into controlling with an iron fist your music recordings. But as soon as he died, all came out on YouTube. So take that, Prince. Take that, artist formerly known as Prince. And then once again, known as Prince. He was Prince, then he was formerly known as Prince, then he was once again known as Prince. I guess formerly known as a symbol. A symbol pronounced. That's how you pronounce Prince's symbol name. A lot of people don't know that. But I've got an in on all the big secrets, you know. Like where they have Jimmy Hoffa's head. People will go, where did they bury Jimmy Hoffa's body? Who cares about that? I know where his head is. It's attached to his body. So that's pretty useful. That's pretty important. People want to know, like, what happened with 9/11. Well, I did some digging and I found out the true answer. No planes hit any buildings. It was just coincidental, naturally occurring structural collapses. The government was embarrassed to admit that, so they made up the planes. The whole Iraq thing was completely unrelated. It was necessary to do for other reasons than the non-reasons that 9/11 provided. Since Iraq and Afghanistan are the same thing. But you know, what are you gonna do? I was like, hold on, this evil warmongering stupid retards are in charge. What shall we do? Like, oh, let's go and fight the Middle East. That'll turn out well. If people would have listened to me back when Bush and Cheney were advocating in favor of this stupid idea of theirs, we would never have gone and invaded the Middle East like that. Because what I was saying was, we should not do that. Obviously. We should not invade Iraq for not doing anything except purportedly pursuing nuclear or weapons of mass destruction, which didn't exist. And regardless, if that's a good justification for invading a country, why don't we just go invade Russia? Why don't we invade China? They both have plenty of nukes. Shouldn't we go take them away from them? You can't have those. You're not mature enough, okay? You're a baby. Only America's mature enough. So anyway, we really showed Iraq. And things are, and boy, was George Bush proved right that that was a good idea. No, he was not. History has proved him completely fucking wrong and stupid about that. Deserving of condemnation and shaming. Maybe even a war crimes tribunal too. Goodbye, Josh Nielsen. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Anyway, I've decided to combine a few different things. Chi, chakra, my aura, into a super jutsu called Spiritual Mismatch, which throws all the spirit energies of all the different bullshits. A singular target, blowing it up with its magical glow. Well, you remember what my mom always said. Eric, don't climb under that thing. I was always getting under things, you know. And she'd say, don't climb on top of it either. What's a climb? You're not, okay? You're supposed to stay non-climbing for your whole life. Can I climb a career ladder? Yes, that kind of climbing is fine. In fact, it's required. There we go. Now I have a guitar on. Let's just play a pleasant little meow, okay? Here we go. Let's play a pleasant little meow. It would be something we could do. We could do it together. Play a pleasant. We could do it separately if you prefer. Let's play a pleasant meow. My fingers hurt. Oh, I'm playing so many pleasant meows. Maybe. It's possible. Let's play a pleasant meow. Let's play a pleasant meow. I'll be a peasant, yeah. You can have some pheasant wax. Let's play a pleasant meow. That's maybe the greatest song ever in the history of humankind. So I guess my work's done for today. I just catapulted us to a new era of compositional genius. So now I can start to relax. There should be some football games coming on pretty soon, 4 o'clock. Or one in particular that I want to watch. Maybe 4:30. It's Oregon State and Washington State. We should say the Beavs versus the Cougs. Beavers and Cougars. And then if this battle were occurring in the natural world, obviously, Cougars would defeat Beavers unless they were battling underwater. Even then, I'm not sure the beaver's teeth could chew away at a cougar nearly as effectively as it can chew away at a log. Regardless, this isn't being fought in the natural world where cougars have what seem to be an insurmountable advantage. Rather, this is being played on the football field, the old gridiron. The true heart of America lives on the football field. Washington State, Oregon State, the last two teams that haven't conference shipped, you know. In other words, the only two remaining members of the Pac-12 who are going to be back next year, potentially. It's unclear exactly what's going on, but it sounds as though Oregon State and Washington State have engaged in legal processes to prevent the leaving members of the Pac-12 from basically stealing everything valuable from the conference on their way out, like intellectual property stuff, blah, blah, blah. So, should be an interesting game. I'm picking Oregon State in a nail biter. I'm pretty sure that Washington State will prove to be more real than either Colorado or UCLA proved to be, as they got beaten handily by Oregon and Utah, respectively. Uh, I have tweezers. You never know when you might want to tweeze something. I like to tweeze the bridge of my nose because I do get hairs that grow out of the top of my nose here. Even though in a sane universe, hairs don't grow there. There's no reason for you to have a thick head of nose hair. So, like my brethren in the Enlightenment, post Enlightenment rationalist thinking period, whatever. Like my brethren, I'm in favor of tweezing. If you could meet one thought, meet, eat, or hire to cook. We're playing meet, eat, or hire to cook. You're having a dinner party. You're going to have one of these philosophers as a guest. You're going to eat one of the philosophers as the main course. And the third philosopher you're going to hire to cook. So you've got to choose between Kant, Plato, and Peter Singer. This is an easy one, everybody. Everybody should get this. Kant, Plato, and Peter Singer. Who do you meet, eat, or greet? So this is called meet, eat, or greet. Greet means cook. Hire to cook for you. You got Plato, Kant, and Peter Singer. Well, I'll tell you why it's easy, because the correct answer is you eat Peter Singer. and and don't feel bad about it for 1 second. Obviously, you should hire Plato to cook, because he will bring the skill of a Mediterranean chef. And you should sit down and listen to Kant carry on in German. Might as well. He could use a nice meal. That's the correct answer to that question. Now let's move on to the next question. Meet, eat, or greet? We'll do presidents this time. Abraham Lincoln, George Washington, and Gerald Ford. Gerald Ford, George Washington, and Abraham Lincoln. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. This one's also very easy. Clearly, you eat Gerald Ford because he looks like he's plump and marbled. Obviously, you don't hire Abraham Lincoln to cook the meal because he grew up in a log cabin, which means he's going to smother it with syrup. So you just have him be your guest, and you get George Washington to cook it, and fingers crossed, hope he delegates to Martha, who was known as an excellent cook by herself, anyway. You know, obviously Dolly Madison scoffed at her, ridiculed her cooking, and so Martha's not gone down in history as the kind of hot topic chef of the day that Dolly Madison has. But believe me, Martha could cook a mean bowl of gruel. She also knew how to make mock apple pie. She made with a pie tin and air. This live stream I say is called Eric Amuses Himself. There was something that was amusing me a lot earlier. What was it? Something was making me laugh. An excellent notion of some sort that was making me laugh. Well, I don't remember it now. Maybe it'll come back to me later. But I do know this. I know that when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. You're wasting your time. Obviously, stars can't grant wishes. Maybe Hollywood stars could grant wishes if they wanted to, and your wish could be granted by money, fame, kind of shit. Maybe. But would they really be granting a wish, or would they just be providing what you're asking for? That's not really quite granting a wish. Granting a wish, it needs to have some magic to it. Either a genie in a bottle, but not Christina Aguilera. Any other genie pretty much would be fine. Genie from My Dream of Genie would be fine. The lady from Bewitched, she would also be fine. But not Christina Aguilera. Robin Williams from Aladdin, he'd be fine. But again, not Jessica Simpson. I'm so sorry. Not J-Lo. I'm sorry. I confuse easily. Maybe it's because I kick so much butt, I kick ass. What immortal poet said those words? Maybe it's because I kick so much butt, I kick ass. I'll tell you who said this. No, not Will Smith. But a good guess. A good guess, Ruben. I'll tell you. Easy motherfucking E. That's who said it. Easy motherfucking E. It was pretty consistently introduced as such in songs. Easy motherfucking E. My name is Easy, and I am rapping, and I am sounding like this. Eustace Carnelby. Carnelby, huh? I think Carnelby's a good first name. Carnelby Penetrato. Carnelby Penetrato. I think is a good name for Carnelby. Maybe his middle name is Sumptuous. Carnelby Sumptuous Penetrato. he's a Victorian era porn star, which means, he performed in scenes like lifting up the leg of a lady's skirt to see her shin. Eleanor Rigby? I always thought that song was Eleanor Rugby. Eleanor Rugby wants to go run with the ball down the field and score. Why is she a whore? Isn't that what it says? Like, for Ruben, he's long wished that instead of the last three letters of his name spelling Ben, it would instead spell Gb. Because then it'd be Rugby R. And the other R would stand for Rugby as well. A few weeks ago, Ruben and I had a private conversation, and he admitted to me that he was petitioning his parents to revisit the issue of his name on his birth certificate. I had to explain to him that parents don't have that power. You'd have to go to the court and get his name changed. Well, I do need my name changed, he said. Well, why? He admitted something else to me that I never thought I'd hear in English. He said, my name's not really Ruben. It's not? No. My name's Gaper. My real Christian name is Gaper Spreadhole. And I don't like it. People have teased me when they find out. I said, well, you're safe here, Ruben. Wait a second. Gaper Spreadhole? Ah, tease, 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 tease. That's what I said to him. And then I floated lazily upon a river of his tears. I'm sorry, Ruben. Did you want me to keep that secret? All that stuff? Yeah. You did say that, huh? I'm sorry. I forgot that you said that. I think your words were, whatever you do on your life, please, dear God, never tell anybody this. And I said, you have my word. You can count on me. Unfortunately, I forgot. So, no harm done. Well, I'm back in the garage again for reasons unknown. You may say, oh, you want to smoke a cigarette? I don't really want to smoke a cigarette. I've smoked too much the last couple of days. I'd like to just kind of chill out. It's hard for me to chill out. I'm not good at chilling out. Oh, sure. If I were to inject a little heroin, I'm sure that would help me relax. But I have neither heroin nor syringe, nor any willingness to inject myself with heroin. So we're back to the drawing board. Relaxidol. I should have a drug called Relaxidol. It just relaxes you. Oh my God, I'm so relaxed right now. Feels good to be this relaxed. Thanks, Relaxidol. I'm looking forward to the day that I'll finally be able to take Jardians. The commercials, the people in those Jardians commercials are so active, so busy, so effective, so pleased with their lives. I can just see it on their faces as they're, running their flower shop and such. It makes me say, I want to be on Jardians. Or also, pretty sure I'd like to be on Sky Rizzy. Not sure what it's for. The sky is up, and that's good. So I've got Jardians, Sky Rizzy. Let's see. I can't think of any other names off the top of my head, but I know there's multiple other drugs I've seen commercials for that I'd like to get on, like for plaque psoriasis or diabetes. These drugs seem to create active, happy, busy people who are doing fun things like owning flower shops. I mean, just think, imagine yourself walking every day into your own flower store and being like, oh my God, I have to sell all these flowers. You actually we're gonna spend any time living the life of boutique flower store owner, it would just be 6 feet a second, an inch of okay. And that inch of okay is about to go bad. Well, I mean, flower stores do smell nice. Is the wheat wet yet? Good question. Excellent question. Important question. The thing is, this title, Profet, is a metaphor, okay? It's a metaphor for a platypus, which is a metaphor for something keeping you down. So, what's keeping you down today is wheat. How is it keeping you down? With its dryness. So, what must you do to rise up despite the wheat's effort against you? Obviously, you must wetten it. You could try dampening it, but I don't think that's going to work. You could moisten. That's very unlikely to work, but you could. You could spritz. Also unlikely to work. Just go ahead and just immerse it in water. We want it wet. We want to ride that shit wet and hot. Okay? Just do it. And then call me when you're done. Where is the twanger? Why did I do the twanger? Did I take it into the garage? That's dumb. That's why they call me Captain Dum Dum of the Half-Foot Brigade. Let me go get some. I'll be right back. You might be saying to yourself, Eric, where did you go to get? What could possibly have been so important that you had to leave us and go get something? Well, you're about to find out. As soon as my neighbor's done driving by in his little car, so I don't feel so embarrassed. He walks his dog, this old guy here, one of my neighbors. He walks his dog by just driving his little orange wilderness car very slowly down the street, and his dog runs behind him. It's a very good dog, very well trained dog. Never like runs down here. Sometimes he'll pause and look at me, but then I'll just continue on with following the little wilderness car. So let's show you what it looks like. There it is. Can you see what I see? A car, a little wilderness car. And where is his dog? I don't know. He might have gone on ahead or might be slow. If the dog is going to cross, if the dog was not ahead of the little wilderness car, then he should come across that spot right there. But maybe he was out in front. Okay, now let's reveal to you why I went inside to get something and how thrilled you are going to be that you stuck around to find out. So anyway, I've been working on that song for a while now. I decided it's ready for me to share it with everybody. What do you think? I think it might be my best song ever that I've written. Maybe second best. I also have this one inspired by some Native American friends I have. The Great Spirit descends upon us. The white man steals our land. Hopefully, you're feeling at least 2 or 3 times more spiritual than you were a second ago. Because I call that Concerto of the Woods. It brings us all closer to Earth Mother, Woods Goddess. Woods Goddess. I mean, pretty much everybody in the neighborhood seems to have a little wilderness car, but not absolutely everybody. I mean, a lot of people do. Maybe I would say maybe like half the people have little wilderness cars. But if it starts raining wherever you are, it's because of my Native American song. Native American stuff has a long history of causing rain. Sometimes we just say, how? It'll start to rain. Last time it rained men, but I did not say hallelujah. You do not want a full-grown man falling on you at terminal velocity. You just don't. You're gonna break all of your bones trying to catch him, you know. Take you down the river, sticks to drown. That's a Johnny lyric. You've been riding the river Styx with the ferry operator. What's that guy's name who operates the ferry? Is he like a skeleton or something? I mean Ferry, you know, to cross the river. You need to get the other side of the river because I guess there's something over there you need to go see. My question is, okay, well, how am I going to get back across the river? People never talk about that part. People don't plan ahead. You'd think by the time they get to the River Styx, people would have learned to make round trip tickets. No. Instead, they pay that guy to pull them across a river in a shoddy little boat without any understanding of how they're even going to get back across. So that's why we replaced that narrative with one that made a lot more sense. Christian hell. Fiery lakes, lakes of fire, icy fire, fiery ice, more lakes. It's like Iceland plus volcanoes. Who had received Charon? That's right, that's his name, Charon. Charon, the son of Erebus and Nyx, had the duty to ferry over the river Styx and Acheron, those souls of the deceased. Hold on a second, there are 2 rivers? How does he get the boat from the first river to the second river? Is he carried across the land? When did the second river come into being? I haven't heard about this Acheron River. Was it a placid river? Were is either the River Styx or Acheron, do they have rapids? And if so, is it safe for a beginner to attempt those rapids? Assuming the beginner has neither boat nor life jacket. Because that's what I like to do. I like to challenge myself by hurling myself into roaring rivers where there are terribly vicious rapids and just see what happens. Hopefully I can swim my way out of this, I say. I just jump right in. So far, so good. I did that at Niagara Falls. I was fine. I didn't know there was going to be a waterfall. I was just going down this river. I don't even remember what river it was. Just floating down the river, you know. And what the fuck is that sound? Like this big like sound. Next thing I knew, I was in Canada. These kind of things just happen to me all the time. I'm constantly having adventures. Going over Niagara Falls, jumping over the Grand Canyon, throwing the Eiffel Tower at the Statue of Liberty. I'll admit I fell well short. Fell a good 3 or 4 miles short of the Statue of Liberty. That I had nailed it, but I ended up laying it up 3 or 4 miles. To bust out my pitching wedge to get it the rest of the way to the Statue of Liberty, which was delighted to have a landmark friend and just be stuck by herself out in the middle of the ocean. Of course, she had to learn French or Eiffel Tower had to learn English, one of the two. I think they both speak a kind of Fringlish now. But they don't talk about anything interesting. Mostly the weather. Another storm coming in. Yeah, another storm coming in. Wish we weren't out here in the ocean. Me too. Mostly that's the conversation they have over and over again. Or watch out for that boat. Ain't nothing I can do if it does come at me. We can try. Well, okay. Yeah, let's watch out for that boat. We missed us. So, any action from the seabirds lately? You know, a lot of feces. Is bird shit really called feces? I was just trying not to be crass. This is, if you wanted to spend time with the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower, you would hear conversations exactly like that all day long. Did I ever tell you I'm made out of copper? Yeah, like 100 times. Unfortunately, I tarnish. I know, that's why you're green. It's not green, okay? We've talked about this. It's forced dew. Look, lady, you don't get to name the patina. Only paint companies get to name colors, stupid things like that. I could be a paint company. You could have been, maybe at one point. Maybe. Now that dream's dead. Well, at least we got each other. Would you like a baguette? Thank you. can you toast it over my torch? Oui, oui, oui. Yeah, beaucoup, beaucoup baguette. Says the Eiffel Tower. And everybody accuses it of hate speech for making fun of the French, only to realize that's just how the Eiffel Tower is. Almost a caricature of a stereotype of a reduction of an actual French person into just two words, beaucoup and baguette. And, constantly going like this. That's why people don't really like the Eiffel Tower that much. Or they don't let people, film it. It's kind of like Sean Penn. It will punch you in the face if you try to film it. Snooty French landmark. Eats horrible mushrooms dug up by pigs. Dig them up yourself, you lazy fucks. Don't enslave your pigs. Pigs are for eating, not for slavery. Everybody knows that. Pigs are for eating, not for slavery. It's a wonderful sentence. I like it. So I'll show you something I brought in today. It's right, this little stepping stool. I brought in, why? So I could put my feet up while I'm pooping. Pretty good, huh? Brings both comfort and facilitated poop awareness, or increased likelihood of poop concretization. I don't need to poop right now. Right now we're just going to pee. But if I did need to poop, I would bring that little stool here. I can put my feet up on the lowest step, the second step, or the highest step. So on the highest step, my knees are way above my hips. Supposedly that helps you poop better. That's what they say. They frequently say that. If you put your knees up higher than your hips, then your poop will come out more easily. Is it true? Probably. Seems to make sense. Like squatting is a more poop-friendly sitting position than just regular sitting. I mean, even when I'm peeing, it's more comfortable to have this stool. I've not used it while peeing before, but I can already tell if I were to move it over here, it would be more comfortable. Not that it's uncomfortable with my feet on the floor. It's just nice to put your feet up a little bit sometimes. They do better at higher elevations. Just like ski resorts. Of course, there's a limit to that. If you had a ski resort at the top of Mount Everest, you wouldn't get very many skiers. It'd be so hard to get up there, People would just say, fuck it. I'm not even going to bother skiing Mount Everest. I don't know why they insist that the chairlifts go all the way to the very top. It's like half of the skiers die. Depends on sudden storms, run out of oxygen. When the chairlift breaks down for 20 minutes, hundreds of people are lost every year. But Elon Musk was determined to build a chairlift to the very top of Mount Everest so that he and his child AEIOU can enjoy the experience of skiing Everest together. So he said, "Why are we going to foster a chairlift?" Within 1 year, Elon's lightning fast bullet lift, as he called it, had increased the speed from 12 miles an hour to 1,200 miles an hour. Now, he faced a new set of problems. I put my knees above my hips when I shit. You shit, we shit. Who shits? I shit. When? When my knees are above my hips, that's when I shit. If you want a ship-shaped shit, you should elevate your knees. You could do that by, say, appointing them to a very prestigious position, like head priest, or simply by stepping on something higher than the ground. So hopefully that explains things for you. I like sky yogurt. You do? Mrs. Mom, you like sky yogurt? What is sky yogurt? Is that they get this stuff out of the sky? Or is it a different kind of yogurt? It's Greek yogurt? Well, the Greeks don't own the sky. Nobody owns the sky, okay? The sky owns itself. The sky also pwns itself for some reason. I don't know. Self-loathing or something. Oh, I pwned myself again. I'm the sky. I'm so hapless. Yeah, you sure are a sky. As you can tell, I'm a little punch drunk today from lack of sleep. Lots of driving, screaming at the show, yelling, or not yelling, but singing loud, And just the kind of emotional hangover from something we were both looking forward to, that we went to, that lived up to its promise. And we were glad to get home, We're tired. We haven't got much sleep since. We didn't really get much sleep Thursday or Friday night. So that's like Rachel's fast asleep right now and was getting pretty grumpy coming home. Not in a way that would be, you'd say like she's being unpleasant to you. Just I can tell when she's like not feeling it, She was ready to get back home. So anyway, here we are. Sky yogurt. Scroll up to learn the origins of sky yogurt. I will. Right, here's the part where I told your secret. River Styx, Charon. There are actually 5 rivers in Hades. The dead drink from the river Lethe to forget. Styx is only one of 5 rivers is separate. Acheron, river of woe. Cocytus, the river of lamentation. Phlegethon, The river of phlegm? Oh, fire. Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, and finally Styx. Styx comes from the Greek word Stygian, which means hateful and expresses the horror of death. They don't have any good rivers? What about like the river of being happy and reborn as a live person? Veganism is the only way. Only eat vegans. Only organic vegans, ideally. What you call bird shit sky yogurt. That's a good name for it. Just like I call long pants modesty pants. And we got to deal with a decent number of cone putters, even though it was Saturday, on the way back in. They are just eager to put out cones, and dig up the road, hold their sign up. I figured out what the problem is. Sign putters have a sign. On one side it says slow. On the other side it says stop. But to me, this creates lots of cognitive dissonance because they're holding a sign. It's telling me to go slow. And they're going like this, which is telling me to go faster. I'm like, do you want me to go slow or do you want me to come over here? You can't have both. But the problem is, what they need is a third option sign that says fast. And maybe on the back you could say normal. You'd have stop, slow, normal, fast. So when I said I figured out the problem, what I really meant was I figured out the solution. They need another sign that has on it normal and fast. Or they could have like a flip sign, but I'm not sure if they should really hold the two signs and then whichever one that's applying, they put them in front of it like this. So you only see that one. How many signs should a sign holder hold before we call him a man? Well, if the sign holder is a woman, the answer to that question is infinite. Infinite signs. Guano is bird or bat poop. I always thought it was bat poop specifically, guano. You know, bird poop could qualify as guano. Well, I hate to be the well, let me see. I hate to be the party pooper, but let me check something real quick. If it's I gotta see what the score of this game is. The Oregon State Washington game in particular. And or the Washington State. Washington State. Washington State is up on Oregon State 14-0. Wow. Oregon State was favored in that game. I think it'll be a close finish regardless. So I think what I'm going to do is watch that game now. Since there is 7:57 left in the first quarter, plenty of time left for Oregon State to do things. I want to see some of that game. So I will see you all later. Thank you for being here. I love you with my heart. And know that serves you well because you are loved.